Hello everybody, it is John, and today I am going to talk Battletech because I've been sucked into it. Or should I say back into it, because this game has a lot of memories for me because one of my very best friends, Shane, and I would play this regularly a couple of times a week back in the the 90s, back in the 90s. So I'm just going to show you at this stage the mechs that I have. Now, when I first started, when the game first came out, the were the mechs. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Can you focus? No? Oh, okay, maybe. Alright, this might be a bit of a hopeful wish on my behalf. So let's have a look and see if I go down to... There we go, how's that? So this was the Hunchback. Now these were painted by a chap that I knew who worked in Napoleon's military bookshop, which my wife worked for very briefly. But so that was the Hunchback, which was a nice mech. So I just put him off to the side. Then there was the Hunchback, because once again these were mechs that I preferred using, and he's actually included. Oh, put this around the right way. Has actually included some infantry on the base as a bit of a size comparison. So this is the, oh god, what is it? Look, I've forgotten. Is it a Vindicator? Somebody can tell me if I've got it wrong. But that, again, his style of painting was really nice. I enjoyed that. Then an Orion, which, alright, so I'm having fun trying to get this in without getting, pity I can't do this without my fingers in the way, but the Orion is a very, a nice mech. Now, of course, if I'm calling the things the wrong things, please point them out. As I said, my mech recognition is fairly low. So here we have the Victor, which I enjoyed just for the fact that it was jump capable. Was it jump capable? Fairly sure it was jump capable. Yeah, I think that's the jump jets on the back. Again, forgive me if I'm talking out my arse, but that was very nicely done by him. Then I had, what were some of the other ones that, where were the other ones that he did? So I've got a Zeus. And I was quite happy, yep, very happy with those. What else is sitting here in the in that particular era of painting? Ah, right, okay, so we're now moving on to some of the... So the only thing I found was that this, oh god, the gun is a problem. It's very brittle. But I'm quite happy to have one of the original Marauders still in my collection. Then the good old Warhammer. Again, I like the infantryman he's added to the bases, and he's done a really good job. So I'm, these are my, mechs that I will not get rid of because they are indeed my favourites. And then we've got the I think that's the, is it a Stinger or the Wasp? I can't recall, because I've actually got the other one. I think that might be the, no, I'm not going to guess. One of them's the Stinger, one of them's the Wasp. I can't remember which is which. I'm sure somebody will point out which one is which. but again, infantryman, nicely painted for scale. So then I guess the oh, okay, I've still got some others. So there's a an awesome, which is awesome. Ha. Yes, John, that's a really good twist. So that was really, really nice. Then I think that is the last of those that I had indeed painted. Then, oh sorry, but there's just a couple of others to show. I have a Phoenix Hawk LAM. So I'm quite happy that that's there. The number of people who want me to sell these is ridiculous. And then the little, whichever it is, Wasp or Stinger LAM. So did a little different this time, made this a tiger. So I really did enjoy the work that he did there on that. Then talking about some of the other mechs that have been produced over the time, I have picked up, if I can find some, sorry, just trying to pick and choose so that you can get an indication, I guess, of how poor my painting skills are. But we had the plastics. Now look, I think it was the 25th anniversary, they produced a whole heap of plastics. And look, they're okay, but you can clearly see how they've sunk in during the casting or the injection mold or whatever the process is. So, you know, in my opinion, these are very spuddy, but they're still, look, they're okay to use. They're not amongst my favourite. You know, if I had a choice, I certainly wouldn't put them on the table unless I was really, really, really desperate. Now, look, this is the plastic Atlas. Now, compare that to the. Have I got one? Here's the good question. I'm fairly sure I've got a metal Atlas somewhere. Yes, here we go. And that is the metal Atlas. So I can tell you now which one I would be picking over the other. The metal is just, you know, it's chunky, it looks good. This one here looks like somebody's deflated his stomach and, you know, he's been on a diet for 6 years. Yeah, look, they're good enough to play with, but that's really, really about it. So, you know, my metals will always triumph or trump the plastics. So there was, let's have a look at some of the others that are here. Now there's a, well, as we saw, that was the, so that's the plastic awesome. Again, you know, it's okay. You know, it's good enough to play with. Some people will be happy with it, but I guess if you've grown up using the other styles, you know, why would you choose this over this particular cast, which is so much more depth to it. Admittedly, it's got quite a bit of weight too, but, you know, again, they're good enough to play with. Okay, now what else do I want to have a look at? So they then started to produce some, okay, that's that. Still, sorry, I'm just talking to myself, so bear with me as I mumble. Yeah, I thought I had a catapult, but all I've got is the, oh, I thought I did have a, all right, no, that's a stalker. That's not sure. So, yeah, so that was the, so there's the, that's the Zeus, and when you compare it to the, again, to the other. They're certainly, yeah, they're rather anemic, but look, they're good enough to play with, and I'm not going to sell short the fact that I think for economy they were fairly well priced. So what else is there? Then I've bought some of these later ones. Not sure what sort of version. Hatchet wielding. Don't think it's a hatchetman. I hope it's not a hatchet. Well, who knows? Can't remember. But there was that. And of course the hatchetman was indeed one of my personal favourites, which I actually have a fair number of these. Yes, even with my spuddy paint job. Worst comes to the worst, I can always throw them in the dip and repaint them. So they're the old hatchetman. What else did I really think I wanted to show? Sadly, I don't have any of the first edition of the plastics. Something happened. That's right. I think they're sitting in Shane's collection of Battletech, which his son inherited. So I think that's where they are, because there were, I think, a limited number of a limited range. I can't remember even what was in the range, because I just wish that I still had a box of them. But so we've got, what else? Might just pop back out again, so that at least there's perhaps something for people to have a look at, that rather than looking at a dreadful green table. Yeah, so it's been a love of collecting, and that. So this is the little urban mech. So the urban mech is there now. I'll try and do a picture of everything sorted, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, that's right. I really did not like the version of the Panther. Now they redid the Panther, because I think my original Panther, if I can find him, there we go, that's the first, and then this is the second one, which they've made jump in a jump position, I presume. And I don't know. It's just the pose. That and the fact it is very brittle, because I have a problem that if you're a little bit aggressive, they will come off. So I'll have to do a little bit of drilling to I think to reattach this to its base. So there is the problem with the I guess the let's go flying option. So yeah, so anyway, I have got some 3D printed mechs coming my way in a while. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but they will eventually appear, and I'll show them in comparison to what I have. So look, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, signing off, the Honourable John.